The records are now open. Welcome, everyone. Come on into this sacred space. Welcome to Akashic Answers with Emily. If this is the first time you're here, my name is Emily. I am the founder director here inside the Akashic Academy and have the great privilege and honor in this lifetime of guiding visionaries and thought leaders who are ready to tap the realm of infinite intelligence so that they can have instantaneous guidance from superconscious mind when it comes to aspects of challenge or limitation that happen in our lives, and in terms of tapping into a higher level of genius, creativity, and innovation. And I'm excited to share some of that with you all today. So please say hello once you get here. And I'd also like you to ask, please share this out. The more that we have joining in this kind of conscious expansion, whether you agree with what I say or not, my intention is that you walk away from this time that we have here together having new thoughts. New thoughts are what are going to trigger and create everything in your life. Jason, I see you. Hello. Dina is in the house too. Let us know where you are tuning in from. And I also want to get the string of questions rolling. So if you have personal questions or areas where you would like insight or guidance from your Akashic Records, please begin typing those in now. And even if I don't answer your question live here on the air, I want you to know that the sacred nature of this space, the consciousness of this live right here inside the Akashic Academy, will bring forward the answers to your questions. You inviting forward that knowledge in this space, you're going to create a feedback loop with the universe where the Akasha is going to show up and answer those questions for you. Kristen says traveling, stop it to St. Louis. Right on. It's my old stomping ground, St. Louis, Missouri. Actually, I was born in a town just north of St. Louis, right on the Mississippi River, very small town. Hi, Stuart. I'm glad you're here. So that is a beautiful nature of the space. Just ask the question and you are going to create the feedback loop with the universe to answer that, whether I answer it for you or not. The other thing that I want to share regarding the Akashic Records for anybody who is new, hello, Kim, is that the records are a realm of consciousness that records absolutely everything, all data, past, present, future, and it records this data from a neutral perspective. So neutrality is actually unconditional love. That's why there's no judgment in this space, and not from the perspective that we as humans are incarnating and experiencing through contrast, right? I was really taken by Geoffrey Chaucer and the theory of contraries when I was in high school. I love literature. But Geoffrey Chaucer talked about that we can't fully experience one emotion like joy until we've experienced its opposite, and sadness, right? And that is the construct that we are all collectively learning under. It's also the construct which is changing. We are exploring new Chastity in the house. I see you too, Amber, and hello, Kim. Chastity, gosh, you're so powerful. You blew my circuits. Sorry. I'm not gonna go into blame on Miss Chastity, everybody, but she's powerful. Whew. Felt your energy come in. Thank you for being here. I have no idea what I was saying. So if that comes back, then Chastity's laughing. If that comes back in, I will definitely share it with you all. Again, start typing in your questions. I don't see a lot of questions coming in yet. So I'm going to take this moment just to preach a little bit because I know you guys have seen this. So proud of this feature in Entrepreneur magazine. And one of the reasons that they chose me for this experience is the level of innovation that I'm bringing to quantum spirituality. There are a lot of places where you can go and study. However, the innovation comes by doing this work in the portals. And so I wanted to share with you all what, I love you too, Shell Baby, what exactly is going on in the portals that you need to know about. Okay, so vortexes, portals. First of all, let's talk about exactly what these are, what the characteristics of them are, so that you have an understanding. And there's more than one definition, so I'm just going to share two quick ones with you. Okay, a vortex can be where certain ley lines, dragon lines, key lines meet each other on the planet. Another definition of vortex or identifier of a vortex is where all four elements, earth, wind, water, fire, all come together. Okay. And here's what I want you to know about these vortexes. One, the vortexes are connected into intergalactic points. So these are access points where intelligence, empowerment can come into the planet. Our bodies are also vortexes. The physical vortexes of the planet are symbolically harmonized and aligned with vortexes within our bodies. So when we take our physical body into these places of higher level energy, basically what happens to the energy when all of these different elements or these ley lines comes together is it creates a piezoelectric energy or an environment that allows you to tap into your intuitive senses, which exist on this higher frequency at a much easier level. These are also portals and places where divine beings who vibrate to a very high frequency, you could look at these as ascended masters or angels or lots of different interpretations of what these higher frequency energies are. In the vortex points, there can be a synergizing of this energy so that we have these visceral interactions and meetings with beings of very high level consciousness. And we as well can see things about ourselves, our life, our own genius that we can't normally see. Okay. Right now, starting and meaning in our galactic history, so starting in 2020 and going all through 2022, especially right now because of our astrological alignment with galactic center, what's happening in these vortexes is a timeline convergence. Not many places along the human line of history are evolution. Hey, my brother's calling, Justin Harrison. I have to talk to you later, little brother. I'll call you later. Okay, so back to these vortexes. Yes, so they're the timeline convergence that's being offered right now that we can tap into at the vortexes has not happened at very many points in our history. It did happen in the seeding of this planet, and a timeline convergence is a point when you have the opportunity to bring all aspects of your consciousness who are living past and future lives. So let's take out a linear nature of that, and let's just say parallel lives, because they're all happening at once. But there are lessons and skills and tools and experience that you acquire in all of these different incarnations. And when we come into the vortex points, we have an opportunity to converge, to bring our consciousness into this now moment, to do the ultimate work of our soul mission and complete it here on this planet at this time. And many of you, if you are coming into my field and you are here in this space, this is a lifetime convergence for you where you have a big mission. And it's going to require you harnessing all of the skills, tools, and lessons and wisdom from all of the lifetimes. And that can happen at the vortex points. So for those of you who are interested in that level of mastery, I invite you to reach out to me. Our next event is coming up in February in Sedona. And now I'm going to dive in. All right, so let's get some questions rolling in here. All right, Miss Amber Elizabeth. Well, that's Kim telling me congratulations. Thank you, Kim. One moment. There we go. Amber. What do I need to do to make 2022 off the chain good? Okay. This is a great question, Amber. And there's a question that you need to ask first. Okay. And this is a question that one of my mentors brought to me. And sometimes I feel like the question queen. I'm all about questions, because questions unlock new thoughts, which is new opportunity. It's the gateway, it's the spell to making something different. So Amber, you're already on the right track by saying, what questions do I get to ask myself that are going to open up the highest timeline for me in 2022? Okay. One thing that we must do before we begin to ask this question, though, is we've got to get really clear with ourselves. And remember, we are co-creators. This planet Earth, there are lots of different places where you can go to learn. Planet Earth is a place where we come to learn what it's like to experience ourselves as gods, as the ultimate conscious creator of that which we wish to experience. So first we have to get clear with what our true desires are, Amber. And I went to a powerful training that changed my life in 2019. And on the first day when we all met in the classroom there, the leader of that training said, what would have to happen this week for you to say, this was the best week of my life? My whole body lights up even as I say it. I love that question. I thought, why have I never asked myself that before? What happens if I ask that to myself every day? Okay. That's the first question that we need to ask is, what would have to happen for me to say, this is the best year of my life? That's going to start getting you clear on what timeline it is that you want to tap into. Now, we know that we must be actionable as well. And so that's where the next set of questions that I'm going to give you, Amber, and everybody else who wants to make 2022 the best year ever, you got to figure out first, what would have to happen for me to say that this is the best year ever? Okay? That question is basically, what does success look like for me? If you're not clear on what it looks like, there's no way you can build it. Okay? Furthermore, if you're not clear on what it looks like, and then you're not clear on how to vocalize it or how to express it, if you can't articulate the vision, it dies there. So these questions are going to help you get clear on the vision and then begin to articulate the vision. Okay? What does success look like? What would have to happen for me to say it's the best year ever? Define it, because most of us are not clear on where we want to go. We just know we want to go somewhere different. Okay? My dad gave me a really beautiful, although it pissed me off when he gave it to me, but it was really beautiful. In a teenage time of my life, lots of stuff going on. I felt like I had lost my way. And I walked into my room after being out with my friends, and my dad had taped up a quote from Alice in Wonderland on my bedroom mirror that said, it was Alice and the Cheshire Cat talking. And Alice said to Cheshire Cat, "Excuse me, sir, but I'm lost. Can you tell me where I go from here?" And the cat said, "Well, that depends, my dear. Where is it that you'd like to go?" Oh, it could have been the Mad Hatter. One of them. But it was definitely Alice. Alice is definitely, her ass is lost in Wonderland and she went out, okay? "Excuse me, sir, but I'm lost. Can you tell me where to go from here?" And he says, one of them, "That depends, my dear. Where do you want to go?" And Alice said, "I don't much care where." And he said, "Then it doesn't matter which way you go." So knowing coordinates, knowing the destination, getting clear with what we want to co-create and experience. Nothing that you can dream up to co-create an experience is outside of what the divine wants for you. And that's another big piece, is a lot of us feel guilt and unworthiness when it comes to creating. And so that layer of shame causes us to create and play small. But if anything pops into your mind, it is coming from the space of infinite possibility where that can happen for you. Okay? All right, let me know if this is resonating for you all. I want to do a heart activation for everybody, just to give you permission to really tap into your heart spaces. And actually, I want you to tap on your heart, activating the neurons of the heart mind, because the monkey mind is not going to be appropriate to answer these questions for you. It's got to be the heart mind. Okay? Bravery and courage, calling forward, infusing the heart mind and the neurons of the heart with that energy of bravery and courage. So there's nothing that you're afraid to see. Give us courage to see the truth of who we are. Ooh, that's a good one. Heart courage. Anybody who's receiving this heart courage, please type yes in the chat box. Heart courage from your Akash. Yes. Nice. Ooh, that was a good one. All right. I'm going to go in and grab another question here. If you had an aha moment there, with anything that came out of my mouth, anything that was channeled through from your guides there. These are all your guides present, by the way, everybody. I'd love to know what that is. Share with me in the comments, because we all pick up different pieces of it. Cool. Kristen says, also, I like Amber's question because 2020, 2021 have been the hardest ever that you've experienced in your entire life. Things that I never knew could happen in a relationship. Let's see, I got to see the rest of it over here. And estrangement. Whoo! Okay, awesome. Let me leave that up there for a second, Kristen. This is beautiful. Thank you for the vulnerability in this. I'm having a lot of relationship shifts and changes too. And it is shocking. It's shocking when we see things that are unseen in both directions. It's really fun when we see things that are unseen solutions. But what happens a lot of times as we're up-leveling is that we begin to see other patterns at work that are no longer serving us. And sometimes it can be shocking that we, on any level of our consciousness, participated in timelines that can be so destructive. So I just want to honor that's coming up, Kristen. I just actually feel like they're sending a lot of transmit. There's a rapid download, Kristen, coming in for you. I actually can't even capture all of it in words. It's just really rapid. So I'll just invite you to breathe and receive that. Okay. Kristen, finding forgiveness is going to be really huge for you. Yeah, I can tell that there's definitely a lot going on in your world. And, okay, the two key pieces that I want to bring through for you right now, because like I said, the rapid download coming in. But Kristen is acknowledging you for being a pioneer, meaning your soul chose to embody a very painful experience of this relationship shift and the breakdowns and how the new paradigms and the old paradigms are working. Because there's a lot of shift here, and, you know, they needed a certain number of us to be like, okay, I'll do it. Apparently we both did it. Anybody else out there sign up for the relation paradigm shift? Wanting to go back and get your head examined now, be like, what the fuck was I thinking? What was I thinking? That's a great piece right there, is what did my God self know about this that my human self missed? Okay, because as soon as we look on a situation from our God consciousness, we are then looking at it from a state of wholeness where the problem and the solution both exists because we're in a state of wholeness. When we're looking at the problem from the state of the broken, wounded victim who got fucked up by the problem, then we're only looking at half of it. We're only able to tap into the consciousness of the victimhood. So that's why when we jump up into the God consciousness and say, all right, when my God consciousness looks at this, what do I see? We're going to see a lot more pieces. So, Kristen, that's a really important, will be a piece for you in this so that you can see the bigger patterns that we're playing out here. And then forgiveness, big time forgiveness. Because, Kristen, for you, the timeline convergence looks like, it feels like that level of betrayal and estrangement stems from a past life, obviously thematic, and you can find it in other places woven through not just relationships, right? It'll be woven through everything. But that's one of the core issues that you're here to work on in this lifetime, and that's part of your convergence. That's why it's happening now at convergence time. And so because you've experienced a lot of betrayal, it's what you've experienced now in the estrangement is going to trigger deep past life trauma, deep stuff. So releasing that and really embracing true forgiveness is going to be important to keep your energetic field neutral. Okay. For me, best forgiveness and clearing. Okay. So also, Kristen, I'm feeling that with relationships, you did something similar energetically, and you can let me know if you resonate with this, that I did with my success in Hollywood, which is I had a really a sad, bad, stinky fire in, Kristen, where I had made it to what had felt like a pinnacle of my career, that I had made it to, like that was the height that I made it up until that point. I fucking hated that job too. Didn't even want the job, but it made it. And then I got fired from the job. So what happened was, because of the misalignment of me taking the job that I didn't really want, man, I had to negotiate all kinds of things that were not okay with myself and make them okay, which created an incongruence. And then I ultimately got fired, which then I'm like, big, just all kinds of nasty shame and guilt and frustration and stuff, right? That my 26-year-old self at that point in time did not have the tools to heal, so I shoved it, stuffed it, and then during part of my timeline convergence, where all these pieces are coming forward, and obviously to make a big impact on the world and to help leaders learn to tap into this space of infinite creativity and solutions, I'm going to have to get out of my own way with success. So I went into the records and asked for a protocol that would be energy medicine that would clear that from my body. Okay. And it's super simple. Oh, we'll just do it real fast right now. So anybody who wants to clear past trauma from their body so that you can keep your energy frequency neutral and really step in and create, give me a yes in the comments. And we're going to step in and do that together. Okay. And again, this is energy medicine. It was downloaded from the Akashic Records. Downloaded energy medicine. These are all fun, fancy words that y'all hear all the time. Let me break it down to a little more civilian speak for all of us. Okay, because assimilation is what we're doing and creating new medicine is what we're doing, but it sounds a lot fancier than it is. Y'all, I sat here, I'm like, okay, I know there's a ceiling there. What do I do about it? Where did it come from and what do I do about it? They showed me where it come from the day I got fired. What do I do about it? My imagination starts going off. I think, oh, Ho'oponopono. Okay, I'll do that. Oh, Chinese medicine. The Chinese organs talk about, or the Chinese medicine talks about how the organs store somatic memory or traumatic energy. EFT tapping. Love that. Works for me every time. They mixed those three pieces together and we're going to do it together. So tapping on the lungs, this is going to release all the sadness. The lungs store the sadness. And now let's transmute it with the Ho'oponopono. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me and thank you. Okay. Go to the stomach. Stomach holds the worry, storing all the traumatic memory of the years of worry and situations that cause you to kick into a subconscious program of worry. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me and thank you. Good. Go to the kidneys in the back. This is what stores the fear. Tap that out. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me and thank you. Go to the liver, low on the right side. Low on the right side, it stores the anger. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me and thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me and thank you. I normally do 3 to 5 on each one. We're moving through quickly today, doing 1 on each one. But sometimes I get mad. We'll do 3 on the liver there. I do. I have, that's one of my, and remember, anger is not a feeling. Anger is a reaction. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me and thank you. I'm going to talk more about that in a second. Belly. Do we do 5? Lungs, heart, belly, kidneys, liver. Yep. We did all 5. By the way, everybody, anger, if you react in anger, I have I've got generational anger. I got shit that pisses me off all over the place. Okay. If you deal with a lot of anger, let me, first of all, give you a big damn hug. It's okay. There are a lot of ripple effects that happen with anger. There's the hangover effect afterwards, all kinds of pieces that are not good for us. Okay. Anger is a reaction. It's a reaction that generally hides hurt or sadness. Chastity, I've had challenges with anger. Yeah. So until we truly get down to those clarity around where we're hurt, where we're angry, where we're disappointed, the anger is going to continue to come up. Okay. And anger is that they're telling me this in this moment right now. I'm kind of scared to say it because y'all might not agree with me. I'll light my ass up. I'm actually not afraid of you lighting my ass up, but you might not agree. They're saying anger is actually a lower vibrational choice when we don't have the tools to stay in a higher frequency, which is really to tap into our sadness or our hurt. And guys, even Jesus got angry. Jesus flipped the damn tables in the temple that day. It's part of the human condition, but it allows us to learn. But anger is an emotional response, generally not one that we consciously choose. We do choose it, but we basically choose it by default because we don't have another tool. Okay? How many of you are resonating with this? Send some hearts across the screen. Yeah, Kristen, we weren't taught how to deal with anger growing up. Nope. Perfect timing. Donna Lewis is pissed off today. She says, I'm angry. Anger is weird. It can stay stored deep within from ancestral trauma. I agree with you, Jason. I use so many tools of Kundalini. Anger yoga is one of my favorites. That's fun. I'm not sure what anger yoga is, but I did an anger, like screaming in my car one time to release the anger. And I did it when I was going through the automatic car wash so nobody would hear me and freak out. Okay. Whew, that was a good one. Kristen, thank you for all of that came in. Let me just take a breath, ground back in after all of that energy. If this is serving you and you haven't shared it out yet, please share this out. And thank you. Also, while I'm resetting, I just want to make that sacred invitation again. If any of you are feeling called to a deeper study within the vortexes, so you can have a physical experience of your timelines coming together, you guys just hashtag Sedona in the comments for me, and I'll have my team circle back and reach out to you with more information. Okay. All right. Demian. Maybe I should just not try to say it with so much flair or accent. Demian, there we go. Demian Reber, thank you for being here. What is the human response to what is happening on our beautiful planet? Well, this is so good. That's the key. That's the key to the shift, is how are we responding? Oh, I'm so glad that you asked this, and so glad that it's just coming on the heels of my sharing about anger being a response. And that's very necessary, is that we learn to choose our response with mindfulness. It's very important to realize that as we go from a construct of learning through contrast, okay, to new ways of learning, there's more than one way of learning. This planet, we're shifting from this contrast, this 3D, this separateness, into learning from this state of oneness, learning from a state of peace, love, and joy, learning from collaboration. It's a completely different paradigm. But right now, when it comes to the moment of human choice on how to respond, are we going to respond with judgment and criticism, or are we going to respond with curiosity and invite ourselves back into oneness, love, and the solution? But the first step is understanding that what's actually happening on our planet right now is not bad. I know it seems really fucked up, but it's not bad. It's a catalyst. Who remembers catalysts from chemistry experiments? I loved chemistry, even though I couldn't really say chemistry experiment right there. Okay, the catalyst is the agent that creates the shift and change. And if things stay the same, then they stay the same. Something's got to be the catalyst in the shift, right? So this is the catalyst in the shift. And as humans realize that their choice and response, if we choose judgment, we go to a lower timeline. If we choose curiosity and we truly honor the God within ourselves and the God within others, we explore new paradigms to support us and new choices of response. Yeah, we need the perception of love, compassion towards human beings. Thank you, Damien. Cool. Yeah, Ben says the catalyst equals the metamorphosis. Yeah, we don't have change without situations like this really creating the opportunity. But here's the beautiful thing that I would love to empower each and every one of you with today, and that is your choice of response is everything. And you are required to participate in your choice of response to change the paradigm. Because what we're experiencing here that feels like reality is a collective holographic projection of all of our thoughts and consciousnesses mixed together. So as soon as you change, you being an integral part of the system, as soon as you change one of your thoughts, the whole system changes. And once we realize that, once we shift our thoughts and move back into a state of love, that's step one. And then step two is, how do I make that actionable? Because you might find yourself at this place. There are places in my life where my higher self knows what needs to be thought and what needs to be chosen, but my lower self does not choose it yet. My human, okay? So we must not only see it, but we must choose action toward it and take steps towards that. What is an action that I take that embodies love? Because if I think loving thoughts and then I show up and say something nasty to myself or nasty to somebody else or rude to one of my children, I'm not in congruence and alignment with that which I'm thinking. And that anytime we create a disharmony in ourselves like that, we're losing our power. Okay, if you have a disharmony or an incongruence in your life, which is part of our learning, we all do. It's okay. It's not that you're bad. It's part of the human condition as we learn to move from humans into mastery, which is what we get to do here on the planet. All right, let's bring in an activation. Returning our freedom of choice. Okay, returning freedom of choice requires, is actually connected to being a master of time, space, reality, mastering time. Anybody know how those two are connected? All right, so I got some like major blasts coming in. Okay. How is this connected to time? Your choice, your freedom of choice. You cannot have freedom of choice until you learn to control time. Here's what I mean by that. We've got to slow time down in order to regain our footing and our ability to make a choice in the moments when we're triggered. Okay? Otherwise, everything is happening so quickly, it's reactionary. We've got to actually slow down like Neo in the Matrix. Oh, that was so fun. I don't want to stop. I just want to keep doing Neo in the Matrix. But I have more I actually want to tell you. We've got to slow down time so that we regain that ability to choose. And that's where, if you do not have a spiritual practice, if you do not meditate regularly, if you are not clear about what path you're on and what's advancing you on your path, like seriously committed to the path, then we lose our ability to slow down or speed up time. But see, there are times when we want to slow down time so that we can regain our freedom. And then there are times when we want to speed up time because we just want to create more quickly sometimes. Who doesn't want to create quickly? I want to create quickly. I like creating quickly. However, we must learn really a high level of mastery before we create quickly. Otherwise, we create miscreations. We create things that we don't want to actually experience. I see a couple more hashtags, Sedona's. If you're wondering what that is about, our next event in Sedona will be happening in February. We will be welcoming master trainer, karate grandmaster at that, Bill Holman and the Mitchell Hedges Crystal Skull. We're going to have a pretty, I'm not going to tell you much more about it. It's pretty secret. However, if you are interested, it's a very high level of initiation ceremony and training with the level of quantum masters. In the vortexes, again, which is what the secret sauce is to being able to make such powerful shifts and leaps so quickly in our life, is that what's available for us in Sedona, Mount Shasta, other vortexes around the planet, again, is that timeline convergence. And if you didn't hear my explanation about what actually happens in the vortexes, I highly recommend rewinding, not rewinding, I guess you just watched the replay. Did I just date myself there? Push rewind on the VCR, everybody. You like it when I act out things for you? Like Neo in the Matrix, and then I also acted out a VCR. Where else do you get that? Like, seriously. Share this out. All right. So if you didn't catch the explanation about what actually happens in the vortexes, rewind and watch the beginning of this. I love you all so much. I'm proud of you and the work that you're doing. Be kind. Please rewind. I'm so happy that you all got some laughs here, got some aha moments, thought some new thoughts here with me. That is the name of the game. And I'm excited to spend more time with you all again soon. Namaste.